I'm back. We're back. The Global Nerds podcast is back. Welcome back, everybody. To my right, I've got Darrell Peace. Below me on the Skype chat, I've got Mark. And to my bottom right, I've got the man, the myth, the Night Moon Wolf, Ty. How you guys doing today?
What's going on? And I always have to tell you, why do you have to put the full government out there?
So what?
The full government. Why did my
The
last
full-
name have to be included?
You got it on Insta though.
And you got it here
Oh,
too, so.
my
Okay.
Insta is the personal one. You should already follow the Global Nerds.
Shit. My bad, man.
Anyways.
My bad. We can edit that out, right?
Nope.
Nope, it's staying.
Sure. All right.
Anyways,
sure?
I am not the seeker of truth and love today. I am the seeker of ink. Ranger Stop is coming up pretty quick, and I've ran out of ink.
What
To
does
the
that mean?
shops.
Yes, what does that mean? There's no merch, there's no pictures. What are you talking about? What you need ink for?
We got lots of prints that we're doing. We're getting some Ranger cards printed out as a proof of concept, and we have bought out Best Buy. We have bought out what's the other one? Office Depot. We're gonna try a local place, but there's no Staples here.
Ooh. Office Max?
Office Max, nope.
Ooh,
And
Michael's?
Walmart,
Kohl's? Something?
you would think.
Y'all
We even
really
tried
living in
Hobby
the
Lobby.
boonies. I'm so sorry. I would not be living where y'all are. I'm gonna need me a Walmart somewhere at least.
We have a Walmart here. It's Walmart's been going through some troubles right now, at least in our area. With 3 of the locations have gotten hit, $20,000 each,
Eesh.
with theft of property cases going on. They're having problems.
You know, I think that's Walmart nationwide because ours as
Jeez.
well in California. I just think because it's so easy for people to steal. It's just and then they don't really have security measures or anything put in place to keep that or limit that from happening. You know what I mean?
And they won't hire people to stand there and watch over the product.
Correct.
But Walmart's too stingy. That's a hot topic.
Yeah. But what was you saying? Something that you spoke on I want to make a comment on. I completely forgot, so continue, my bad.
The Ranger cards? Or the Ranger Stop coming up?
Oh no, I was about to say, yeah, there you go. You bought out Best Buy. How about you buy me a TV? I'm gonna need it.
Well, Best Buy here does not have their ink section is terrible. I was lucky to find the ones we did. And our printers ink hog, it seems.
In all my years of me going to Best Buy, I have never really looked for like a printing section or inking section. Once I go to Best Buy, I literally go to one place, whether it's televisions or computers. I don't even look around for anything else.
Well, if you've been to the computer section, it should be right there to your left.
You don't understand.
Because they sell printers.
When I go to computer section, my eyes focus on one thing, and that is it, and I'm out.
Man on a mission. I respect that.
That is it. I'm like, oh, computer, I see it, I want it, I'm gone.
Yeah. Because I know if I don't have the plan before I go into that store, I'm gonna be there all day. I'm gonna buy everything but what I came for.
And basically come out in debt, which is terrible. I'm like, yo, my credit card's maxed out. Like, why is your credit card maxed out? I don't know. It's not my fault.
But I have to say, though, Mark got me into a new game this week.
You're talking about Star Rail.
Yes.
Good game. It's a good game.
It is. About time you got into it. I think I have my 17th warrior. I don't know who's my favorite, though. I think, what's the tech bitch name? Snow something? She's my fave.
As in what, Silver Wolf?
Yeah, that one. The tech girl, yeah.
Yeah,
she's on my list.
Yeah, she's out in a couple of days. She's the another big character, which is I think is pretty cool. I'll probably end up trying to pull for her, which is something that I think would be a lot of fun. My favorite character at the moment is it's the Cell. Hang on, let me find her name.
What color is she?
She's purple and she has a scythe.
Oh, cool.
Oh, black hair?
Bluish? Hang on. Star Rail. She was on the first banner.
Got you. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know her name. I quite like March 17th as well. So.
Oh yeah, she's the girl with the bow and arrow, correct?
Yeah.
She's fired.
What's her name? Seely is her name.
Okay.
She was on the first banner because the only reason why I pulled for her is because she has like an ability that if you beat a bad guy, if you beat an enemy, then she gets an extra turn, and you can link it with Hera, the puppet girl, and then it means that if she does damage, the other one does damage, and if she does damage, it can kind of roll in together, which is quite good. But if you get her with Himiko, you can literally, and was it Himiko and Clara, you could literally just chain an entire load of bad guys in one go. So
I do love my AoEs.
Now the only thing I have about it, because I do love me some mobile gaming, I wish this was on PlayStation 5 with the graphics and just the better control scheme. Like it needs to be on a console or even Nintendo Switch, because I'm tired of this phone.
That's why I'm playing on PC.
I will give mobile credit. They've got some good games out there now.
They do.
On PlayStation.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like mobile games right now, they kind of take me back to the old Flash games, man. They've even got Happy Wheels on mobile now, and it plays like the way it plays on mobile is so dope too. It's great.
True.
Yeah.
According to PlayStation blog, it should be on PlayStation soon.
Okay. Well, once it hits PlayStation, I would definitely put some time into it. Because again, I love my mobile phone, but I need my phone for a battery, for phone calls and stuff like that, not for a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I use it if I haven't got a PC or PlayStation about. I'll just log in because I paid for the what did I pay for? The 90 Jade per day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if you can stack it up as well, so I think I have maybe 100 days left, and that may have cost me like 20 quid, but then that gives me enough Jade for maybe a one pull or something like that. But because it's every single day, it adds up, so you can pull a lot quicker for some of those characters. Yeah, and it's not bad. I thought I'd hate the game. I generally thought it'd be a bit boring, but I kind of like the turn-based combat. I think it's a little bit refreshing compared to playing like Genshin, where you're running around attacking or you're fighting everything in an arena.
This is why I love, I almost said Street Fighter, like Final Fantasy. Sometimes the turn-based games are really fun, which is why I really enjoy Marvel's Midnight Suns. It's a turn-based type of game for a console, and it's very, very interesting. It's fun. You have to use your brain a lot to make these moves. Like it's just a fun game. It's a different
You never run out
concept.
You never run out of patience?
No, not at all. Because it's really fun. Like once you play the game, you really enjoy it. You really have to use your brain. So
depends on the presentation for me.
Midnight Suns is really good. If you guys got the gameplay on it, it's great.
Yeah, my fatal flaw as a gamer is I have a complete lack of patience, and that means not all turn-based games are for me, but if they're really presentable, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, then I can get behind that. If it's still entertaining while you wait.
Come on, Nintendo, give us a remake already.
There you go.
So that means you would possibly love Persona games, like Persona 5 Royal. You would probably love the fuck out of that game. It's turn-based, but it's so chaotic. It's just great.
I've been meaning to play more Persona. I like what I've played. This game looks pretty cool too, though.
Oh yeah, you should play it. It's great.
Yeah, I'll get behind it.
Yeah, it's not bad for a free game. You know, and considering like you can just like if you don't want to put money into it, you can. It's a lot hard. Like I find it's a lot harder at times if you want to be free to play, because you have to kind of like go, oh, if I want this character, it's not like you're guaranteed it, and I think that's the downside. But they did kind of add in like a few bonuses, which I wish that they implement in, like say, into Genshin Impact. So like say for example, like you've got the weapons banner that I've sent. So like you'll have like a main character there, but obviously it's not guaranteed. So you have like a pity system. But it gets to the point where, say, if you do 300 warps on the regular, which is the temple, and say you don't get like a 5-star character, so when you hit 300, you get to choose like one of the 5-star characters. And I looked at this and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, oh, that character's good. And then someone went through every single character and I went, fuck, if I ever get to this, I do not know how to choose like who I want, because it's very much like, do you go for healing? Do you go for shielding? Do you go for like attack? You know, so it's one of those things where like Natasha's like the healer at the moment, but on that banner, it's like, say it's the little like fish girl. I have no idea what her name is. I think it's like fish girl. Yeah, I think it's Bailu or something like that, and she's the best healer in the game at the moment. So it depends on like, okay, I want to go for mainly attack, but I want a healer. So do I go for her? Or it's just one of the weirdest like things. But obviously you can still get those characters at any point. So it's kind of it's a good thing. It just takes ages, and I think if you're free to play, then it'll just take a lot longer. But if you're wanting to put money into the game, the one thing I will probably say is like the 90 per day that you get for free, because then at least it's not that much, but at least you have enough to kind of save up and at least kind of add to it, rather than be like, oh, well, I'm only getting 50 things per day, but now I'm getting 150. So that's a lot better.
I definitely think that more free-to-play games, if you're going to add paid content, you should have more ways to get that paid content.
Yeah. I agree. Like, so the pity system in the game, it's very similar to Genshin, but it says like, so you build up if you hit by like 90, so it's 90 turns, so that's going to cost you a lot of saving up for it. But by the time you hit 90, you're on hard pity, which means that you're guaranteed a 5-star, like the event banner. But at any point you can build it all up, and that's annoying, because if you imagine that you have to save like 90 wishes, which will just take ages, then you get everything out. So yeah, like it should be more like, okay, maybe after every 6 pull that you don't get, that's when you get the 5-star. But then you go into like a 50-50. So you're guaranteed, and then you got your 50-50. So it just means that you could end up getting that event character, or you could get another 5-star, which is really frustrating. But it just adds more. That it's like, oh shit, I need more. I need to put more money into the game.
Right.
It's such an annoying, because you just go, fuck it, here's some money. Because I did that with Sealy. I was like, I want her as a character, so I just literally put money into the game. And then the new character, which I have no idea what his name is, like Jing Yan, he's pretty decent from what I've seen. But the next one's Silver Wolf, and then the next one after that is one of the main girls that was at the very beginning of the game, and I'm just like, oh, who do I fucking pull for? Fuck.
And definitely spread out your events too. That thing annoys me as well.
Yeah, I think at the very beginning, the Star Rail is making a lot, so that they'll have like quite a few events for it. It just means that you just get a lot more kind of in-game currency. So I think someone worked out, if you're free to play, you get something like 82,000, either 8,000 like in-game currency just for doing all the events in the game. And to be fair, you can do all the events really, really quickly. Like you can, if you're not into listening to the story, just skip it. It's like, oh, all right, now I finished that, and then it's like 10 times easier.
Yeah, the only negative I have about the game is the team setup where there's only 4. Because there's some times where you just getting pounded, and it's like, okay, I wish I could have a team of 5 or at least 6. Because if you have one healer there, you have one attack person, you have one that does attacks the team. They only could do so much damage because they're all basically going to attack your healer to try to get you cleaned out first. And if they're literally the weakest person on the team, so you don't really have a tank or anyone that can support them with only 4 characters. So that's my negative.
Yeah, that's been one thing in Genshin Impact. Like they can do it. It's just adding in that extra slot. But since you're talking about healing, I think it's this guy. His name's Locha or something like that. And he's basically, it might be him, I'm not too sure. But basically, he's an attack and healer. So he'll, say, for example, if your team gets absolutely battered, and they go fall below a certain percentage, he'll automatically heal them, and it doesn't take up a turn. And I think that's
word.
Yeah, so he's on the next banner. I think it's him. So that's one that I'm kind of tempted to go for. Like Silverwolf will debuff all the characters, but this guy, I'm like, he could take over from healing. That's going to be a bit better. Yeah, that's the only downside is this game needs a lot more, but it's only been out for a month.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they'll take feedback, but I think they're going to stick to the four slotted characters because that's how Genshin works and stuff like that. So, Rim.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on to our official first topic, y'all. Power Rangers Cosmic Fury and they released their toy.
Yeah,
it was leaked or official, but that shit is ugly. It is ugly, y'all, with no alibi ugly.
Yeah,
especially where we saw the actual one that's going to be used in the show. It's so drastically different. One has a gauntlet, the other one has a little strap. Now I get to save costs, you need the little strap because it is a children's toy. But could you have found a way to make it look better?
100%.
I think it just needs a bit of the details there. I just think as they say, they just need a bit of black wash on it to actually make it stand out, and it would be okay. It's just one of those things where a lot of these toy companies, when they make this item, that they have all this detail, but they never kind of paint it. And I'm just like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that would work 10 times better in my eyes to actually make it, like, oh, I need that. I need to add that because I think it looks fine, but it's boring. That it looks boring.
It's like the meme. I want Power Rangers at home. We have Power Rangers at home. Power Rangers at home.
Right.
Yeah. It's like Power Rangers if you got it on Wish.
Seriously, it was like no inspiration, no imagination went into the creation of this project. It was literally like, okay, we see the finished product there for the film. How are we going to turn this to a functional, safe children's toy? Let's throw $20 into the production of it. And that's exactly what it looks like. $20 was thrown into the production of this. It's just ugly. Like, the colors are ugly. The shapes are ugly. The design is ugly. The functionality of it, I have no idea because we've already seen it. But even the quality control of the pictures that was released. Mark pointed out it has a chipped tooth. Like, how do you put out a promotional image that is still fucked up? Like, y'all really don't care. No one watched this before you guys actually put it out on the product.
Yeah, it's so disheartening because compared to, like, if you look at like how they did for Beast Morphers, like that Morpher was bigger than the Japanese one, and it was more like it was the show. Like, it did everything that the Bandai version did. Like, push the button and like the sun visor comes up. If you looked at the Dino Fury one, pretty much exactly like the Japanese one, and there's no major big differences bar like maybe the keys and stuff like that. But if you're wearing it for cosplay, or if you're just wanting it just for fan films, absolutely perfect. This one, it just feels like, and one of my friends has pointed this out, is like Hasbro, when they get a brand new franchise, that they go all in, they love it, and then suddenly it's like, here is the last version of it and it's shit. Like the tech that you've got in this morpher, it reacts to sounds. Okay, that's actually really cool. You can probably spin the ball. Again, a really cool thing. You know, it's probably going to be really fun to interact with, but it looks dull. It looks like, again, like, yeah, you said, like the Wish version. It's like, oh, cool, I've ordered, nah, and this shit. Oh no. So when people, like, you're going to see this for months when it airs, and it's just going to be sat on the shelf. And when kids walk away with something better, that's when you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Right.
It's just like Disney and their recent just plethora of cheap effects all over again, man. I mean, like, instead of using effects to make things look cool, they use it to cut costs, like with like the nanotech helmets and all that in the MCU. This is just another version of that. I mean, Hasbro usually makes such amazing toys, but it feels like they're with this lineup, they're just like using whatever resources they've got to make it as cheaply as possible, as easily as possible. Just pure corner cutting, man.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, like, it is corner cutting. It's effectively they found a way to make, like, what they'll do, like this morpher and all the, like, everything it does would have, let's say it would cost them $5 to make, right? And then they're going to be selling it for 30, and then they're going to wonder why no one's buying it, because it doesn't look like pleasing on the eye. It to me, it's like, yeah, it's cool. Like I might buy it because, you know, I like wrist morphers, but, you know, if I was a kid and I was like just walking and seeing this, I would have gone, nah, I'm done. I don't need this anymore. You know, it looks boring and tacky. So I don't know who's on there, like the quality control or the design, or is it something like, you know, when like a kid comes up to you and goes, I drew you a picture and it's meant to be of a cat and it's just a scribble, and you're like, yeah, it's really nice, on the fridge it goes. Someone's done the same thing at the toy department, and they've gone, oh, this is not going to sell, on in the manufacturing it goes, and you're like,
yeah, it's all trash. Hasbro, you sell, you're a toy brand and you put this out as a representation of your product. Like, how?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just feels, again, like I said, I think that they're just dumb on this. Like, if you notice, there goes more into the Lightning collection than it does into their main toy line, and it's saddening, because it's just like, just get rid of the main toy line. Fuck it, don't make the Morpher. Just make Lightning collection figures and just tell the public, hey, we're not going to make any more. We're going to focus on the Lightning collection because that's where the money is. You know, fuck the toys. Because I guarantee there's not going to be anything. It'll be the thing. We'll get role play weapons. You know, it will just be the Red Ranger mainly, and that will be it. And you won't see anything else. It will just be a few things and maybe some shitty little figures. And yeah, that aren't, well, to be fair, if they don't make those new figures look spot on perfect, they're doing their job wrong, because it's only like 3 colors or something.
But now that begs a question that I have, because we all see that it seems like they're done with Power Rangers as a brand, period. And we know that we have this reboot Netflix show coming out, the movie's no longer being done or whatever. Do you think they're gonna throw the towel in and not even produce toys for this rebooted universe? And like, they're not really gonna go in, no comics really, or really no expanding the universe on this TV show. They just gonna put out the TV show and that's it.
I generally think you're going to have the comics keep going for a while, because they've got their newest one coming up, Darkest Hour or something like that, and that's an entire year. So that's like set in. I think that the Lightning collection is the only thing that they'll focus on, because that's now coming into 2024. As for any of, like, yeah, I just think they'll just pour it all in. I don't think we'll get any toys of the newest stuff, like the rebooted film and stuff. I think they'll just be like, we're done, and they'll just concentrate on what's going to make them money, and it will just be Lightning collection.
Yeah, it Power Rangers right now, I hate to say it, but it does kind of feel like a franchise that's coming to an end, at least sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. It should end, at least go on some type of a couple of year hiatus, because the thing is, we need to miss something in order to really appreciate it. So if Power Ranger goes away for 5-6 years and come back later, I think we can really appreciate what it can be. But they have to completely change, their formula and evolve their storytelling and the tones and who's the stories directed towards in order to really make an impact, especially in the climate of DC and Marvel. So,
yeah.
It
just needs the CW treatment. It just needs to be older.
It should just come back when it's feeling fresh. They don't seem to really have any fresh ideas right now.
No, because they're stuck in this one mindset of we're marketing towards 3-year-olds and that's it.
Yeah, I want them to sit down for a year, but I think that if you take it off the air for say like 2 years or something like that, you're going to lose people because no one's going to turn around and say, "Oh, I need this back," or "I need this right now."
I think that's fine. We absolutely need to lose the people that they do have supporting it because it needs to come back completely something drastically different.
Like 10 years later, the power is back. The Power Rangers, Mighty Morphing, and it's like, fuck. Like, I think just go on one massive binge, just put everything in and go, and that's dinner done. You're not having any more. Dessert is in 10 years' time.
Right. That is crazy. Crazy. But I don't know. I would just really think that I have to see what the heck is going to be with this reboot, the actual show that's going to be on Netflix, and watch it in its entirety before I can actually have an idea what's going to happen with the future of it and see how it's going to look.
We definitely need more than the lather, rinse, repeat we've been getting.
Exactly.
I think they need to pick it and go, yeah, this is what we want. But I don't know. I feel as a fan over the years, I feel like, yeah, it's just the same thing. And when they do try something different, people have a go at it. Yeah, I just want something different now. Oh, maybe a 5-year break will do it great, and then but then maybe people will move on and be like, oh, okay, that was a fun show that I used to watch.
That's cool because just watching Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, seeing the stories and the complexities they could take with tone and everything, even though it's a children's show or a film, it doesn't treat it as such. And if Power Rangers would just take that approach and stop treating people as these kids. Like I said this before a million times, and I get slack for it, but I really don't give a fuck. Kids nowadays are in school shootings. Kids nowadays have, are raising themselves. Like they have a hard lifestyle. They can comprehend and view, tougher subjects that are pretty much reflective of their world. You know what I mean? So why are these children's shows, Power Rangers, is still talking to kids like, make sure you guys eat your vegetables, and stuff like what the fuck? Some of these kids don't even have vegetables to eat. Like what? Come on, show them the realities of what it is. Like you could still be, you can have a bad background and still be a hero. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you only could be a hero if you do this, if you have this, if you have that. Where a lot of these heroes are troubled. Some of these heroes were never heroes in the beginning. Look at Venom. You know what I mean? He was taking him as a bad example, but I mean, he became a hero. Blade, his past and who he was, he became a hero. So it's like, I don't know. Power Rangers needs to completely change the formula and completely treat these characters as people and not caricatures. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, over here we don't have like shootings and stuff. We have stabbings. We don't have shootings. But I agree. Like it feels that I don't know if this is an American thing because it's always the same, but it feels like everything has to be the happy ending. So like when Power Rangers, like you had say Ion and Zato, and they were like when Ion comes in, or is it Ion? Oh yeah, Ion. When he comes in and he's just like, I want to be the leader because you've done nothing. You wiped out our entire team. Go fuck yourself. And then it's just like, okay, I'll take a step back. You're absolutely right. And then by the end of that, episode, it's like, sorry, man, I didn't mean to be like that. My bad. Let's be friends. And it's like, okay, let's hug this out. It's like that sort of shit. Like if someone comes in and says, I'm going to take over as leader because go fuck yourself. That doesn't finish at the end of the episode. It's like you're not going to go, like 24 minutes later, yeah, that's cool. We're cool now. That thing can kind of happen for a long time. And I don't know why like these big companies have to be like, right, we have to make sure that you are absolutely perfect. Like everything has to be hunky dory, because life doesn't work like that. You know?
Oh yeah,
exactly. Just watching Spider-Man, there's no happy ending. Watching The Little Mermaid, they tried to make it a happy ending, but that was no happy ending. Yeah, they went off together because she found a man who she loved, but everything else is crumbled. There's no happy ending there.
I think
Star Wars, Star Trek, you know, it's just you don't always have to have a good.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel as long as there's at the very least, a ray of hope. I mean, like Walt Disney, he believed that kids could handle anything as long as it had a happy ending. So I think at the very least, companies should, at least if not make the ending happy, don't be afraid to scare the shit out of the kids. Toughen them up a little. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish gave us the literal Grim Reaper going after a cat. Like, I mean, kids can take a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why I really appreciate movies and film that doesn't just go with the same or a happy ending, because that's not reality. That's not always the case. So there was a movie I watched last night, which was very beautiful, called 1001 with Tiana Taylor. It didn't have a happy ending, and I was so happy it didn't have a happy ending, because it shows the realities and the complexities and the complicated relationships that people have to, go through, even though it is a mother and a son. Without spoilers, you watch the film. It's on Peacock. Everyone should watch it. It's basically just centers around a mother, single mother, trying to navigate the hardships of the world while raising a black son who's not quote unquote who they consider the cool one, because he's articulate when he speaks, and he gets into college in the most prestigious schools, and she's the exact opposite of who he is. She speaks with that type of dialect, the quote unquote she's ghetto type of a thing, and it's like all she wants to do is make him have a life that she never was afforded. And the movie goes through every trial and tribulations about that, with a big third act reveal that still has me like, damn, I want somebody to love me that hard, where, without spoiling, I want someone to love me that hard the way she did. It's a beautiful film. It's hard. You're not going to go in there and be like, oh, this is a great. I feel good after watching. You're going to feel sick. You're going to feel disgusted. You're going to feel happy. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel like you want to hug your mama. And then you also want to side eye your mama at the same time. Like, what the fuck? That's how this movie is. And I think film should do that. It excites something in you. It makes you think. It makes you look at different point of views from both sides and see what it was.
Yeah, I think most of the time people need that dose of life, because again, like if you look at like how Disney used to portray stuff, like, oh, it's a happy ending with a fairy tale. Like, I know people can achieve their dreams with hard work, but then sometimes it's like, wow, if you do this, like you can achieve it. It's like, but not everyone can get to that achievement spot where they'll work harder. But then life is one of those things where it will slap you down. It's just how you kind of cope with it. Even back in the 80s, like with Thundercats, when I was growing up, you had that action, you had that thing, and then you had the end of the day where it's just like, make sure you don't do this, kids, make sure you do this, and then it had that kind of that thing that sticks with you. But yet now, if I went back and watched all those episodes, looked at those life lessons that it's trying to give me, I might not be like, well, I don't really kind of agree with that anymore, but at least I know that it shaped me. And then there's nothing like that anymore now. But life's changed. Life's not easy as anything. It can be hard. It's just how you adapt to it. And I think that if you have in Power Rangers this whole thing of like, you can do anything. Like, if again, like that whole argument with Iron and Zato being like, who wants to be leader, that sort of thing can carry on. Like, there are people that I absolutely hate in this life that I'm never going to forgive, but at least I've learned that, and it's not going to be a handshake at the end of the day. I don't know, like Hasbro needs kind of, or a lot of these companies need to drop this whole, it's going to be okay. It's fine to have a bit of pushback. Do it. Not have an angry letter saying, my kid was watching this and now he does this. I do not like it. Like, well,
how about now?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Sorry, it's going to happen.
It's fine. We still hear your fan, but it's hot, so go ahead.
I may or may not have gotten a really stupidly good mic. No, I fully agree with that, and I lost my train of thought on most of this, but I do think TV shows need to get a little bit darker, hit harder on some of the sore subjects. Um, some of these kids are really smart. They know what they're doing, and some aren't. And that's the difference in this country right now is sometimes we need to believe our kids, but at the same time, we need to see what they need as well. You need to have a balance. That is the problem I have been seeing everywhere with every community, every freaking representation. And it pisses me off that it's like, well, blacks aren't getting enough representation. Spider-Verse, Little Mermaid, and all these other great movies that have come out in the couple years that we've seen. Well, where's the Latin representation in those? Where's the Asian representation? Where's this? Where's that? And it's just becoming a horrible, horrible place. And it's like, okay, where's the balance? And I hate to sound check markety, but I do believe that Darrell and a lot of these black creators are correct. There's not enough black representation in movies, and it shows.
And when it does show, it's like presented as like just another check to
Really,
cross off.
yeah, really, really shitty. But there's people like JP from Review Time, very well written characters that I've seen. Darrell, I think you're in Seven Seas. And I'm sure that's going to come out really nice.
We're both in it, just for the record.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. Now, and this comes as a surprise, but Miss Lou is playing a black character in JP's which one? Cavaliers, because of her southern accent. And that's not taken into account either for black representation, for black voice actors who play white women or Asian women that have the voice for it. That's something we bring up a lot for The Little Mermaid. She has a great singing voice, and actually seeing the movie, she played Ariel pretty well. She could have added more emotion into some scenes, but she had it.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've been hearing incredible things about her performance, her vocals. I've just been hearing great things.
It's a cute movie. My favorite is still Melissa McCarthy throughout the whole thing, and Scuttle and the crab. The crab is so freaking funny in that movie. He hates that bird. I already go on record. I think he hates that damn bird. But it's so funny. That movie's cute. But yeah, that's just, again, Power Rangers comes from a point where, okay, we all know heroes are born in tragedy. Every hero we know comes from a tragic background, whether it's Superman losing his entire planet, Spider-Man, being the bullied kid, Captain America being the bullied kid, Batman losing his entire family, Wonder Woman being ostracized and completely banished from her entire home world. Every hero is born in tragedy, but the Power Rangers came out and it was like the strict opposite. I could be a hero. I could be super clean, super good, nothing's wrong with me, and I'm still a hero. You know what I mean? So I like that different take on what it means to be a hero.
Hero can come from anywhere, right?
Yes, but the thing is, where Power Rangers drops the ball, wow, that's the only thing they have is we're positive. There's nothing ever bad that happens to us, no matter the odds. We never die. We never lose. We eat greens. We're friendships forever. There's no conflict. I can't be mad at you for longer than 5 seconds. Like, that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm going to go to the Fast Saga for this one. That specific movie. Roman even states in the movie, Tez, look at my jacket. Look at my jacket. And it's full of bullet holes. And he doesn't take off his shirt or anything, but he's fine. There's no blood. There's no anything. And this is supposed to be a movie where tragedy happens a lot. and he just goes through. No one gets killed. No one gets shot. No one gets put in the hospital. We see Hobbs get put in the hospital after Deckard gets to him. But
at
he
this
makes
point, anything Fast and Furious, they call superheroes. But there's no way possible they survive
Exactly.
half this shit. They superheroes at this point.
So we've all seen Fast X, right?
No.
Oh my god,
I want to
Carry on.
Jason
Right.
Jason Momoa in that movie. It's like you've never seen him ever, man. It's great.
Oh, Jason Momoa steals the movie. It's like it's supposed to be super tragic. It's supposed to be extremely dark. People are supposed to die in this, and Jason Momoa is just like,
He's like Aquaman.
Right.
He's like Aquaman in there. He's a superhero.
I'm just listening to how this conversation sounds right now. You're not still going to see the Fast and Furious movies for the story, are you?
I was going to see racing cars.
They put in a bit of an effort to bring the cars back in this movie.
Now, I actually have the answer to that. So I watch the original person who went and chose the cars from the first movie up to Tokyo Drift, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good YouTuber, but he said that people don't want to go to a movie that's all about racing cars. They want more action. And that's what the Fast and the Furious movies are. And it has been a lot about connections that they have made and consequences. And Fast X is the crossroads where everything has come to bite Toretto in the ass. And I pray to God that Paul's brother, who did the face shaping in the 7th movie, does come back for part 2 of Fast X, because that is a big part of Toretto's life, where he did get betrayed by someone that he knew to be a really good brother. They've atoned to so much. Brian's family has to be in trouble by now, with Mia being in the mix.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it now, but
yeah,
I'm just expecting
there's
superheroes
too many questions, and I agree.
I mean, we want Power Rangers to cross over. There's been rumors, back in the day, Power Rangers supposed to cross over with G.I. Joe and Transformers. They need to just cross over with Fast and Furious at this point. So now need to be like, look, you're already fighting superheroes and stuff. Take these morphers, and there you go.
So, not Hasbro. Renegade Studios has done 3 different RPG books. One for Transformers, one for Power Rangers, one for G.I. Joe. There is now a crossover book that I am gonna get, and you can make a Power Ranger Transformer G.I. Joe unit. It's kind of cool, from what I
those was actually going to be films from I think it was with Lionsgate, and it was in the middle of acquisitioning between Hasbro. It was supposed to be a G.I. Joe Power Rangers film, or a Transformers Power Rangers film, or a MASH Power Rangers film. Obviously, those plans have fell through. But realistically, I could see Power Rangers and Transformers. But now I can see Power Rangers and Fast and Furious. The shit they be doing.
So question: would it make it a better Turbo season?
Exactly. It could literally be Turbo. Power Rangers Turbo Fast 11 is morphin' time. Like, it could work.
Honestly, Fast and Furious right now is doing what Power Rangers could be doing, has an option to do. They're just hitting fuck it, basically.
Exactly.
They're like, we're an expensive B-rated action film. That's what we are. We're gonna embrace it.
And I think a lot of it is the writers' fault. That's why I kind of disagree with this writer's strike. I wonder if it's still going on. But they're like, well, we're not getting paid enough to write this stuff. And I look at their products, and like, I just watched The Black Demon last night, and I went, "Where's the demon? Where is the iteration of this freaking Megalodon? Why are you focusing on the family that doesn't really? Oh, okay, the father did some bad stuff. Then why make this movie? Like, it makes no sense.
Well, you're talking about good writers and bad writers, because I mean, like, we have had a lot of very good movies and shows come out that just that have changed the way people look at life. It's cinema, and like, you've got the bad shit too. But like, the people who write that shit, they should have their pay raise, because that is amazing. That is visionary shit.
Well, that's the thing. It's all on views because art is subjective. Okay, everyone's not going to like every piece of art. People are going to love our podcast. People are going to hate our podcast. It does, we're still going to do what we're going to do. But my thing is, there should be a writer strike, because there's no way impossible where these people should create these films for entertainment and can't even afford to feed their families and keep their cars and keep their homes. That's ridiculous.
Without them, the actors wouldn't even know what to say.
And why are these actors being paid $8 million, $4 million minimum for this thing, and the creators are getting paid scraps, like thousands of dollars.
And there's where I full agree with it. It's to the point of, how well did you write this script, scene, etc., etc., etc.
To me, it's not even about how well you think it's written, because again, it's subjective. You may say this is a crappy script, but to other people really appreciate it. So again, you can't base off of that.
Yeah. And that's what I was just about to get into. It's the community effect. We have good representation. We have good people who have been working their asses off to go, hey, I'm here. Please respect me. And then you got these whistleblowers and morons going, yeah, we want that too, but we want extra money and all this other stuff. And these people just want to be represented. And it's gone from a simple thing to say, hey, we just want to, we're having some issues. Could we negotiate a pay raise, to super strike? We need $30,000 per writer. Rah, 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 rah.
I think you've definitely got a point there. Unionizing should be a backup plan if negotiating a raise doesn't work, or if the boss is just being a dick. I think you got a point there.
Correct. That was another thing.
The way that I'm hearing this, it's more like, if you don't like something, then they shouldn't get paid for it. And again, like, as Darrell said, like, someone, you may hate something, and then someone may love it and think that it's the greatest. I feel like, if for the writer's strike is valid, because look how like bad television and stuff went when they went on strike. Look at Heroes. Heroes, even though not many people liked it, was a fantastic, up to the point where the main storyline was going like, oh, there's a virus that kills out everybody in the world. Only a few people still have powers, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden everything went to, and this is the happy ending where everybody's saved. And then the show went downhill and was fucking trash. But, and then also look at, like, I was watching a video, like, was it Wolverine X-Men's Origins, where they're like, let's seal up Ryan Reynolds' face because he can't speak. That's fucking shit. And it's because things change a lot. With the writer's strike, I think everyone, even if it's good or bad writers, should get paid, because at the end of the day, it's like, you could turn around and go, right, well, this was absolutely shit. You're not getting paid. I'm going to give you $5. Well, this thing is really good, so I'm giving him $10. And it just feels like, when you say like, oh, it's all bad, like no one should get paid, or damn the writer's strike. I'm just like, yeah, but everyone needs to be paid. Like, look at, like, I hate to bring this in, but Master Force, where some people may absolutely have loved it, where some people hate it, and then what the writers on that one, if someone turned around and said, yeah, that writing was absolutely shit, you'd be like, no, it's a masterpiece. So it goes hand in hand. Like, you can't say, well, I don't think that they should get paid more because I don't like this or whatever. At the end of the day, they all should be paid, like, to live, because at the end of the day, I think that should be absolutely fair, rather than being like, well, fuck you guys, and you made a thing I hate.
And
that was actually a bad example, but
the objective fact is, whether it's a good product or a bad product, the writers provide so much intrinsic value. Without them, the whole thing falls apart. And if they get interrupted by executive meddling, that just makes it worse, because you turn what could have been great into something bad that doesn't turn a profit. So they should be paid what they're worth. They should be allowed to do what they do.
Yeah, it should be a floor. It should be a floor that everyone starts at, which is a base salary. And then based on your merit, your experience, and the quality, you can, at that point, you can negotiate for a higher salary. That's in every profession. So if I wrote a script and I sell it to a studio for $75,000, that's fine. But in my next script, and I know it's something good, and I know that the script that I sold previously to the same studio, and it makes them buku money at the box office, now I can negotiate for $175,000 for this script. Comes back to the third one. Now I must charge you $475,000 for this script, because you know my track record. You know the type of work that is worth the product that I produce for you in your studio. That's how this stuff works. So these people are negotiating for higher salaries based on their merit, and they're not getting it. So that's what the writer strike is really about. They're not getting paid what they're worth.
It's true. It's true.
So
that's what it should be. And if you're a part of a major studio, like say Disney, you should definitely pay your workers. Like this just happened a couple days ago. They dropped, what was it, 4 different companies for Disney Plus?
No, Disney dropped or didn't renew one of their vendors.
Oh, it was a vendor issue?
It was one of the vendors for the call center.
Yeah, so call center work is another thing.
And that is why we're drowning in calls for all 3 services.
And poor Bobby, she's just lying there like, I forgot about my call center work today, and how big the call volume is. And
because you handle what, Disney Plus, Hulu, and what's the other service you guys handle now? ESPN. Yeah.
And she does all that. Luckily, she just got a promotion thanks to her work. But
you see, she was able to negotiate a bigger salary.
No, she didn't. Her company decided, because of her work in her team.
No.
Okay, I'll let her explain it. Let her get up and explain it.
Yeah. You who never says all the right facts. So, no, Disney.
To a point.
Disney did not renew their contract with one of their vendors. So all of those calls that would have been handled for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus fell to the rest of the vendors, which is why we're drowning in calls. And Hulu is taking up like an hour to get calls answered or do callbacks. I had one very irate customer about that, which is like, there's nothing we can do. We're running unlimited agents. Now, my team, for my company has 3 different teams, one in the US, one in Canada, one in Philippines. The US team that I'm a part of, we were beginning to ramp down to like close doors. But because we proved ourselves and we were the best of the best, Disney came to us and said, hey, hire more agents. So we're going to be hiring like 50 odd more agents. And those of us who are staying, which most of us are from earlier training classes. I've been with Disney Plus since the end of 2020. Because we proved ourselves to be exemplary, a majority of us are getting moved up to a higher tier. And it's fantastic. I'm excited. I'm also nervous. But yeah, it's going to be different. And I'm looking forward to seeing how my role changes, because I'm going to go from talking to customers to just being higher support for other agents. So I'm not going to have any customer interaction moving forward, which is a bit of a shame because I did really well with customers. But it's yeah, and this is sort of a rabbit trail or a different path, but I have always felt that these companies, because when I got hired, ESPN Plus was, I think, $6.99. Hulu was either $4.99 or $5.99, and Disney Plus was $4.99. This is back at the end of 2020, January of 2021. And now, an annual plan for Disney Plus is $109. An annual plan for Hulu is $79, and an annual plan for ESPN Plus is $99. And yeah, we've got the bundles, but it's still an obscene amount of money. And these companies are large enough, in my opinion, that they can afford to cut their prices. They do not have to raise their prices every year, because if they keep their prices low, they're going to get more subscribers.
Yeah, but that falls under the corporate greed type of a thing.
Make the same amount of money.
Mm. Corporate greed, gotta love it.
Yeah. And it's like, I know we're going, and the price of the dollar is, dwindling, and, everything is having a price increase. But these large companies, they don't have to increase the cost of things. They don't have to. Pay your workers more, yes. But if you leave your prices where they are, or hell, even, cut the prices some, you're going to get more business. Because people are going to see, oh, hey, this company cares about us and how much things cost. This company is, they're massive, and they take in billions of dollars a year. They can afford to not raise their prices, to not make things difficult. And I've had,
sorry, you first.
At least one customer cancel. I think she might have been out of Australia. But cancel, and in support of the writer's strike. She said, we'll be back, but, in support for the writer's strike, we're going to cancel for right now.
Oh, I ain't doing that drastically. I mean, I support the writers from afar, but they ain't putting food on my table, so I'm going to still subscribe.
For my glasses, I cannot see that.
I mean, whatever the case is, whatever the specific situation.
I'm tired.
I mean, employers and
when I clocked on yesterday around 4 p.m. Eastern, the queue is 260 and climbing. Oh. I think we hit 500 at some point yesterday. Ooh. And normally it might cap out around 200 for this time of year. I'm tired. There's a lot of calls.
You need to take a nap?
Yeah, she probably needs to go back to sleep.
She needs a drink.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you should just do what I do when I used to work in the call center for Spectrum. Just, hello, my name is Darrell. Thank you for calling the Spectrum Internet Repair. How can I help you? Well, fuck you, my bill's too high. Thank you for calling Spectrum. Next caller.
Hang up on that. Why is my doot?
I mean, employer and employee, that's supposed to be an equal relationship. Is the employee entitled to the money they want? No, but at the same time, employers are not entitled to their valuable labor. So, yeah, when did we forget that, right?
That's why it's called striking is so important. When you feel taken advantage of, you have to strike, which is why they are important. But there's a lot of companies out there that don't feel comfortable doing striking because there's no union to back them up. And if the employees ever start talking about trying to get a union, they're completely terminated because those are at-will companies. So it's a thin line you have to tread.
Yeah. But just pay the writers more.
Yeah.
Good or bad, just pay them a living wage. I find it weird, and this is not just a writer strike, but companies want all the best work from you, not willing to pay for it, and then it's just I can't live, so I have to go find another job that pays more. But we gave you all this. No, we gave me was a headache.
Yeah, the incentives does not outweigh the labor work that I have to put into this time. For one, if I'm giving up 8 hours of my day for you, it should reflect that where I can live comfortably, but it's not ever going to do so. So I get it. It's a double-edged sword. If you're not unionized, then you guys are afraid to strike. But I would like to put it this way for you companies out there: if all of you guys employees just fucking strike for a week or so, the company cannot employ workers that quick to replace you. They're going to hurt. They're going to feel your point, because the only way to get your point across and to be heard is to hit them financially. Words and letters you guys send to corporate is not going to do a damn thing. You need to hit them where it hurts them, which is where you're going to stop money coming into their pockets. You have to strike. That's why they are so important, which is why that's the corporate. I call it the corporate letter. If you really want to write a letter to corporate, don't use your words. Use your time, which means don't go to work. That's the only way to get them to listen.
Yep, I agree. So, moving. Are we going on to the next topic?
Please do.
Yeah, okay. I think we need to talk about mass bombing of reviews.
Okay, yeah. So Spider-Man. So for people listening, this is what I find very interesting, at least. So, when people started kind of saying stuff like, "Oh, The Little Mermaid hasn't been getting any," like, everyone's review bombing The Little Mermaid, and it's, people are giving valid criticism on it. They're going through Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and we'll talk about IMDb in a little bit. But people are saying, I don't like The Little Mermaid because the music's not that great. The CGI is not that great. They're giving good enough reason. Everyone then turns around and says, like, it's because of, it's because you've got a lead black actress and that's not right and blah, blah. It's all that bullshit that we always hear. And then when people say, I don't like the film because it just didn't resonate, everyone's like, oh, you're racist, you're this, you're that. And then Spider-Man comes along and blows everybody out the water, because it's a great thing. A lot of people now are kind of going, well, where's all this like heat that Little Mermaid got? So obviously, is Spider-Man a good film or is it a bad film? And it's a great film. I've not heard any bad plots from it whatsoever. So that was my kind of thought on it. It's just like, where are all these people that are saying like, where are all these people trying to say like it's reviewing bomb when you produce a good film, it gets good ratings. So where are all these people saying like we can't have this because of the lead actor or actress or whatever? So I want to know where all those people are, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't even got anything to say about that. So
yeah, it was something that I saw, and it kind of makes sense when people turn around and try and go down and have an attack on something, and then when something comes out that's actually really good with the same kind of principles, no one's around to be like, oh, is it being review bombed? No, it's not. It's a good film, so therefore it's getting praise. And again, like, everyone's got their kind of thoughts on The Little Mermaid or whatever film. So it's just very interesting how people have disappeared. But
exactly why I brought up the stuff earlier in this episode is, okay, she's a Black Mermaid. How does the actual movie play out? I thought it was rushed. You had 4 years working on this movie, and this is what you give us? I feel insulted.
I don't think it was bad to where, again, this is a Disney live action movie. You only could do so much with retelling the story. Yeah, try to make it different. But the viewpoint I'm on, where the film didn't, if you've watched it and actually watched the film, you guys, it did not focus on her being black. It did not focus on anyone's race or background, ethnic background. It focused on the story of a fucking mermaid wanting to get fucked for the first time, okay? She saw a man, she's like, oh, this is a human, I want him inside of me, but I need legs and the coochie to do it, so I'm gonna give her my voice. That's what the fuck Little Mermaid is about. If you just want to keep it in its purest form, that's exactly what it's about. Little girl wants some man meat, okay? That's what it is. The thing is that I have is people review bombing it, it's because she is black. If this girl was cast as any other person, it wouldn't be the topic of discussion because the movie does not focus on her background. It's not the focus of Little Mermaid. So why is this the focal point? It is because she is black. That's just the reality of it is. People hate it.
Well,
why is her hair locks? Why is she dark?
I do agree with you that it could be the race thing. They're saying 90% of all of it was racist. Mm-hmm. Even the half even the half people who thought she was a great actress in all this are
but
racist.
there's always a consistency. She was a great actress. She's great for the movie, but she has locks. But she's dark skinned. But it's always a but because she's a black girl. That's what it comes down to. If you look at the common denominators, it is her skin. And it's always going to be the topic of discussion because that's what we see first. We don't hear the voice. We don't see the product. We don't see the content. We don't see the story. What we see first is basically aesthetic. And what aesthetically you see is her darker skin. And that's the people going to use a veil and say, well, it's not because she's black. It's because, it's this and that. No, it is because she's black. Because the criticisms that you have has nothing to do with the film or the story itself. You're using it as a veil when it's actually about her being black. Because all underneath it, you let a person talk long enough, you hear, well, back in the day, they were slaves. See, again, it always comes back to what? Her race. And that's just the reality of it.
I think for me, the only reason why I won't go see the film is because of Jenny McCarthy and the fucking Scuttle thing.
And see, now you're being racist because you don't want to go see it.
No, I don't want to.
That's part of the review bombing that I have a problem with.
I think
people like Mark who just genuinely don't want to see it because of X thing, it automatically goes back to the racist part. And I don't believe that is right.
I mean, if someone wants to come at me and say it's because this is like I like Little Mermaid was one of my favorite films when growing up. And I'm very interested to see how a live action is. Like Aladdin, I absolutely adored Aladdin. So it's my all-time ultimate favorite Disney film. I saw the remake, and I had some things like at the very end. I was like, okay, it's not something that I would go and watch again. So obviously, if I watch Little Mermaid, I will watch it when it comes on Disney Plus, because I just don't want to see Jenny McCarthy on a big screen. I
You so about to get the Jenny McCarthy fans messed up. Melissa McCarthy.
Jenny. See, there you go. Melissa McCarthy. Like, I even saw, because one thing I generally kind of really wanted to know is how they would. Is it Vanessa she turns into, because she wants to make Ariel lose, lose a voice, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and went, she looks exactly like the animated version. Like if you put them both together, they look exactly the same. So yeah, I will watch this when it comes on Disney Plus. I'll go, okay, let's see what it is. And I'm probably gonna go, this is actually a decent film, apart from Melissa. I fucking hate Melissa.
I'm telling you, man, she was one of the greatest part of the film. She did her part as Ursula, as an actress.
In itself, this has also come out for the review bombing. There's not enough LGBTQ plus representation in Ursula or this movie in general.
See,
this is another part of the review bombing. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's always going to upset somebody. Someone's always going to feel underrepresented. Somebody's always going to have a problem with something. This is why I said art is subjective. Okay, you put it out regardless of who you're going to offend or appreciate the film. You put it out,
and that's why when I reviewed the movie, I took out the race. I took out the crap, and looked at the movie as objective as possible. I thought it was rushed for 4 years production. I thought the scene changes made no sense. And it's like rush the first half of it, or the midsection was all about just the longest span of everything, and then a rushed ending. And me and Darrell, we both agree that fight was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like the fight at the end. Visually, it looked cool, but I never seen the original film to even make comparisons. Just based on this merit of this standalone film,
I couldn't even tell what was going on in that scene because I had a AVP Requiem scene where the tone of the darkness overshadowed the entire action sequence. That I'm just like, where's the action? How bright do I need to make my computer screen to actually see what the fuck is going on?
Well, that's what these creators do. When they know their special effects are shit, they say, let's make it as dark as possible.
I mean, I'll give them kudos because they pretty much made it so you couldn't see Melissa. I will give them kudos for that one, to be fair.
Oh my God.
I don't want to see a giant Melissa McCarthy on my screen. I'm absolutely fine. No one needs that.
Oh my God. The movie was great, man. You're going to leave Melissa McCarthy alone. She did great.
You know what's the worst thing? So I was watching TV the other day, and an advert comes up for, I think, basically traveling website.
Oh yeah, that's her.
Yeah, and I literally sat there and went, oh, fuck, no. Like, I'm never going to use that website. I will.
I keep getting Expedia ads all the time, and Expedia actually helped me get my first hotel for Ranger Stop.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it was just that thing when I saw it and she started singing. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake! Now that you've been on The Little Mermaid and you've sang 1 or 2 songs, now you think you can sing in every advert. Or it's just one advert. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, why? Why do we have to have this? So yeah, but to be fair, I mean, I don't know why they. Oh yeah, okay, we know why. It's like, oh, the visual effects are bad. Let's just darken the whole thing, and it's just really shit. It's just like, no, we don't need this. Just just have someone come up with a sign that says "Night falls," and then go, oh, so it's at night, is it? And then that's it. We all know.
Yeah, I just love how Little Mermaid became the hot topic of the past 3 episodes.
It's because of fucking Melissa.
It's because
the top topic.
Well, it's because we've seen the before, we've seen the now of the release, and now the backlash. Which, do I think the backlash is there? Kind of. I agree with Mark that, and this goes back to my my pattern issue that I've had with most of these movies, and Little Mermaid is no different, because there was representation that everyone thought the race swapping variable was a bad thing. What about Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I was just about to bring in a parallel.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse, now there is merit to that topic there, but Spider-Verse isn't going to get as much backlash because Miles Morales was originally black and Hispanic. So that's why there's going to be no discourse. But there is discourse for the film because, like you said, the black Spider-Girl, whatever her name was, originally white. So people had a big controversy about her being black. I don't know much about Spider-Woman. I don't give a fuck. All I know is Spider-Man, and that's the one I care about. I don't care if he's black, white, Asian. If it's Spider-Man, I'm fucking with it. But that was a discourse because they changed her from a white woman to a black woman in the film.
But not as much as Ariel. I haven't really seen much on Spider-Woman race swapping. I just came across it. I'm like, wait a minute, haven't I seen this character before? Looked it up. Oh, look, that's a thing. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
I don't know shit about them. Like again, I know me from a standpoint. I don't care who plays the character. If they're the best,
play the role.
Yeah, that's how. If they're great for it, then I don't care. Like in the black community, you have again Storm. We all know Storm X-Men supposed to be dark melanated chocolate queen. In the past, we had a biracial actress play Storm, and we had Halle Berry, which are the lighter complexion. So in the black community, it's kind of like how everyone feels about the white erasure characters being displaced and played by black characters, because it's kind of like, okay, we never have a dark-skinned character plays this character when it's supposed to be we always have the light-skinned counterpart. So again, I can understand that type of argument where you want to still see your character represented, excuse me. For me, it doesn't personally affect me at all. If the person can play the role correct, and it's not something that's based in who the character is, per se, like their DNA makeup, I don't care who you get to play it. If they're dark or light skinned, just let it be the best characters. And the people that have played the character, for what I've seen, did great as Storm. Halle Berry is fucking great as Storm. Alexandra Shipp, who played her, she was fucking great as Storm. I don't know anybody else who could have played it better because of who they chose. They chose a better person for the job. I can't say anything different.
It's how you choose your actors. And that's probably another thing that we can talk about later on. and I fully agree that. Oh, what was another one that I came across that was really good? I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
Well, going back to the whole topic of casting and best person to play the character, going back to Little Mermaid, Halle Bailey won the character because from the directors themselves, no one ever came close to topping her being an actor or a singer. So they chose the best character. She won out fair and square, which is perfectly fine. There was a rumor before Halle Berry was cast as Storm was supposed to go to Angela Bassett, which would have been perfect casting in my idea. But it went to Halle Berry. Am I mad? No. But there was a rumor back then saying, well, what if Sandra Bullock would have played Storm? For one, I would love to see Sandra Bullock play any damn thing. So, but as for playing Storm, well, we know that Storm is an African woman. She couldn't have played a role. Now, going to the best actress to play it, like I said, it could be anyone. I don't really care if you race bend, but it can't be a part of their fundamental makeup. Like Black Panther cannot be played by anyone but a black person. I'm sorry. If you're going to do the Johnny Storm and Susan Storm for Fantastic Four, if you want to make one black, the other one has to be black. If you're going to make one Asian, the other one has to be Asian because who they are siblings. They're one without the same. They are not adopted siblings like they did that fucking Fan Four stick. I hate that shit. They are not adopted people, okay? They are not cousins. They are not best friends who just say, oh, since we know each other forever, we're going to call ourselves siblings. No, they are actually blood ties. So if you make one race, you have to be the other. So keep it consistent. And that's my thing. If you go to race band, please make sure it's not part of the fundamental of the character who they are DNA based. That's where I standpoint. I don't care who you get the fuck to play. Peter Parker ain't got to be white. Peter Parker ain't got to be black. Peter Parker ain't got to be Asian. He could be whatever the fuck he is under the sun. Superman, he's a fucking alien. He could be orange. You know what I mean? So this whole thing, Superman has to be this certain way. Like some characters could be whatever the hell they need to be. It doesn't matter.
And of course, we got to bring up the J.K. Rowling stuff. The reason why I bring it up is how does the creator of the character say it? We can't really ask the creator of Little Mermaid because he's dead.
Right.
But in the original book, she's Danish.
Who, Hermione?
No,
Hermione?
the
Ariel.
Little Mermaid.
Ariel is based on.
Oh, Ariel. Gotcha.
It's how the creator, like, Darrell, I'm gonna write you as this big black man who takes no shit from anyone, and your character gets so much love and attention down the line, and then all of a sudden I die, and this random creator says, oh no, I'm gonna make him Latino now, and he's gonna be a little bitch boy. That would piss off a lot of people.
Yeah, because that would be fundamentally changing what the character was.
Correct. And that's how some people feel about Ariel.
Right.
But she captured enough of the character that I don't give a shit about it. Like, I think she did Ariel very, very well. Again, put some fucking emotion into some scenes. That's all I ask. She did fall flat in a few scenes, but other than that, she did very, very well.
Yeah. I've just been seeing some of the people, the trolls on the internet was like, well, what if we make Ryan Gosling, what's his name? Martin Luther King? And I was like, first of all, that's funny as hell. Number two, he's a real person. You cannot mix fiction and nonfiction. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do it.
That actually brings up another point. Cleopatra in the Netflix series is under fire because that's a black woman playing it. What was it?
She's Greek.
She's Greek.
She's white-skinned, fair-skinned, short curly hair. She's Greek.
I think the thing from
or
that
Egyptian,
though,
one of the two.
No, she's Greek. She's an
That's just
Egyptian
recast
queen
history.
who was Greek.
Yeah.
I just find it funny. Like, isn't it at the very beginning of that where it's just like some grandmother's just like, I don't care what anyone tells you, Cleopatra was black, and it's just like, no, there's actual evidence. There's actual documented evidence, and I think that's what kind of got people up in arms. And then obviously Netflix went into it. I just think it was Jada Pinkett Smith just saying, I want this.
I thought it was okay. I'm confused. Isn't it Gal Gadot playing Cleopatra?
No, it's someone. So I think there was meant to be a film coming out with Gal Gadot in it, but then I think they changed it. But Netflix basically they said that they did a historical documentation or documentary on it, and it was meant to be like, but they got a black actress who plays Cleopatra, and the whole of Egypt just went, no, that is not right. This is it. There's documented evidence. There's everything here. Everything. She's always been Greek. She's always been this. That's how it is. And everyone at like Netflix and some people have gone, nope. You're being racist type thing. It's just like, fuck's sake. The country that you're doing this has turned around and said, this is official. This is what's been said. And then people go, nope. Because again, like, as I said, like at the opening thing, it's like, well, don't let those schools teach you that she was always black. And it's like, what? And then that's what they've kind of gone off over it. And it's just like, no, it's not.
Yeah, what I know about Cleopatra from our schools, they never told us she was black. They always let us know she was just Egyptian, which I don't even know if that's a race of itself. So again, school failed me because I just thought she was Egyptian. Is that a race?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's all I was taught, that she was an Egyptian woman. So I didn't know about this discourse of her being black or Greek. I just thought she was Egyptian, but that's just my ignorance.
I mean, I'll say that I thought the exact same thing. Now I've been told, and I'm like, okay, now I've been educated.
Right. Like, oh, she's Greece. Okay, well, let me look to my Greece people because I love me some. Let me stop talking before I get us canceled. I was about to say I love that. What you call that food? The dip. It's white and it's kind of like mint on the inside. What the fuck is it called? Come on, Greece viewers out there.
Trident layers.
Greek yogurt?
No, not.
I don't know.
Oh,
it's not tahini. So that's what
tahini. Yeah, it's a dip with a T. Well, fuck it, I'm gonna remember later off the air or something. But yeah, y'all educated me. I didn't know she was Greece. I just thought she was Egyptian. But hey, this is why you have friends.
Is it Tazaki?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've never heard of Tanzaki ever.
I've never heard of it either.
It's the way he pronounced it. It's shit. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but that's a damn you, Mark. Got me saying Tazaki. Anyway, moving on for the Greece foods.
We don't want to. We're already hungry enough with someone eating on camera.
Right.
Scrambled egg bagel sandwich. I can't not eat it, man.
You don't want it to get cold, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks all rough. Look how you peeling it apart. Is that an English muffin?
No, I'm sat here.
Just a plain bagel.
You and these damn bagels.
So
that one took me a second, Mark, but that was good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to transition here. All right.
So our next one.
Kicking that topic out of the thing.
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I was about to say the first of the 3 big fighter games has come out. Darrell, how
Street Fighter 6, I am enjoying the game. I'm enjoying World Tour, where you create your own character and go through the whole story and create your own narrative of becoming a fighter in the universe. Right now, I am training underneath my master, Chun-Li, with her style. So far, she's my favorite. Of course, Luke was the introduction master who we trained under with his style. And I just came across Marissa, which is this big-ass, buff, Italian chick with red hair. Like, she's like a She-Hulk. That bitch is tough, boy. But her fighting style is completely different. And I like how you can choose who you want to master under, train under, and become the next Street Fighter. I can't say tournament winner, but master of that style of Kung Fu. I know that sounds confusing, but that's pretty much what it's going is becoming your next Kung Fu. Like Bruce Lee, he didn't have a title, but he became the master at his craft, if that makes sense. Then you got the new game mechanics, completely changing the bar. The new control screen. control schemes that they have. Classic, then they have a new control scheme, which is really fun for me because even though I've been a big Street Fighter fan, playing on a controller is annoying as hell. That classic control scheme. I cannot speak English today, but overall, I give it a 9 out of 10 because it's really fun. The characters are all different. They all have different play styles. There's some discourse between some of the costumes because they're not the classic costumes that you have to buy the classic costumes. For one, this is a new game. People, y'all change. They could have some new outfits. Why y'all making that a big deal? And the classic costumes are in the game. You just have to unlock them. You have to pay for them if you want to. You don't want to wait. But for me, overall, I'm enjoying it.
I really want to play it, but I don't know if Tears of the Kingdom is going to let my heart go.
It will. Once you start, it's fun. It is fun.
It's so good. It is such a good game. Fantastic.
So I've brought this up before with friends. I love the create your character style storyline. I wish we'd have more of that in games, but Jump Force, I think, went about it the wrong way. I think if we had Jump Force in the style of Xenoverse 2, I think it would be great. But the way Street Fighter 6, from what I've seen and from what I'm hearing, I want that in more fighter games. Please let us do this. Like, I mix and match moves for one character to create your own unique character in a series of, let's say, we're going to put all the fighting games together. You got Tekken, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat just somehow going into the same universe. And it's up to your character to defend this area. And you get let me think of the roster here. 50, 60 characters to mentor under? That's a lot of gameplay.
For which game?
If there was a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken game.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna happen ever.
No,
you trying to talk about Burger King, McDonald's, and Jack in the Box trying to make a super burger. That's not gonna happen.
We've had crossovers in the past with them, with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, or was it Tekken?
Tekken, Street Fighter, and Tekken.
Okay.
And I must say that shit was terrible, y'all. I hated it. I hated my Nina, the way she controlled the Street Fighter. I did not enjoy that game at all, and I'm glad they only made one iteration of it because.
But if you can make your own character like you are, this one, with being under a mentor and getting their moves, and assigning them to specific buttons, how would that change? Like, that's what I'm saying.
It might be a cool thing to see. I would like more worlds to cross over. I mean, we're doing the film all the time. We're doing the music. People have collaborations. Again, they tried it in the past with video games, Mortal Kombat and DC, Street Fighter, Tekken, Dead or Alive, and what's that damn game? King of Fighters and stuff like that. But we have not seen Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat crossover or Tekken and Mortal Kombat. Like, I wonder how would that work because, of course, Mortal Kombat we know that shit is brutal as hell, and a lot of these game developers probably don't want to see their characters fatality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like fatality Chun-Li.
Oh, that would be funny to watch, actually.
Oh, I don't know. I would love to see it though. Maybe one day. It'll make some money. I know it will. I'll buy it. Shit. But yeah, Street Fighter.
I'd be there at the store with you.
Yeah, that'll be something cool. Change up the formula a little bit.
There you go. Just have a vlog episode where we all show up at the store to get the game.
Right. Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. Those would be some great showdowns, like Sonya Blade versus Cammy, because they're basically one and the same. You know, they're like copies of each other. Chun-Li.
Like if you get the right guy to write a Street Fighter game, you could get a collab. I feel like Street Fighter is just over the top enough and like, you know, Mortal Kombat's like over the top with its fatalities, they would blend well. It could work.
I think so.
Yeah.
And they all like carbon copies. I mean, if you look at Chun-Li and Ling Xiaoyu from Tekken, they're the same damn people. You add Chun-Li, Ling Xiaoyu, and Street Fighter, Tekken. What's the other one you saw about? Mortal Kombat, Kitana.
There you go.
They're like the same damn people.
It would work, man. I would love to see like a Street Fighter style mixed with some Mortal Kombat. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but you know, we can wish, we can dream, we can hope, we can ask for. But I've been asking for Injustice 3, and we still ain't got that shit. We got Mortal Kombat 12. Like, what? Disrespect.
Quote unquote 12. But
right.
No, I agree. We need a new Injustice game. I think it left it. I believe the ending to it left us hanging.
Exactly. And I want Black Starfire from Titans, the TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of black race bending, how did y'all feel about Coriander being black? Because again, people love Coriander being black. Like in the beginning when she first was introduced, people hated it because of her hair.
But once they got past the hair, mentioned it.
Like people loved her as Coriander. I know I did. She is fucking fire. Pun intended.
To be fair, I had no, like, I could see the reason why people got really upset, but then at the end of the day, I was just like, it's a TV show. Like I get it, but I didn't have a problem with it. I was just like, okay. Did she straighten her hair in the end, or did they just leave it as, you know, as it was?
No, they straightened in her hair because apparently the story why she was dressed the way she was in the first one, she was undercover going in like some Italy 60s type of thing. So that was her whole stick of why she looked like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I think I saw a picture of it when they straightened the hair, and I didn't know if that was like to keep it just like Starfire type thing. So
no, that's what she normally looked when because she's a queen of Tamaran. So the way she dressed, all royal and all that, that's just the way she normally looks. But she was undercover here to kill Raven, which is why she had to look the way she did, which is freaking funny to me. Because I was like, did y'all just write that because y'all had so much backlash? Because I was like, what the fuck is she looking like that for? But it was great, though. I love Corianders. I love Anna Diop. Wait, am I pronouncing her name wrong? Anna Drope. I think it's pronounced like that. I just love her as an actor. She's fucking phenomenal. And I love her as Coriander, but I want to see her as Storm in the MCU. Just MCU, I need to get that contract drawn up because her acting choices is what sold me. You know, just watching her as Coriander where she was in the elevator, and it's like she never seen an elevator before. So the way she was just looking at the doors the way they opened, it was like the acting choices this woman made is fucking amazing. So that's my little tangent, little praise for Anna Diop. Drope. Anna, you know your name, woman.
It's when she leaves a comment says, "Yes, I do know my name."
All right. But moving on to our final topic of the day. Oh,
it's a hot topic.
What is a hot topic? Because it says open. I forgot what it was.
Pronouns and why or why not to respect them, and the controversy of if you misgender a person, do not pass go, do not collect any money, be in jail for 10 years plus a 50 grand fine.
Yes. Disclaimer, y'all. If y'all identify as such and presenting in one way and don't notify anybody in your circle that you're identifying as such and you known this person for X amount of years, please say that you identify as a fish. I don't know you identify as a fish. I didn't know that. You look human to me. I'm sorry. Okay, that's just what it is. Don't get mad at me because I say hello, sir, and you say no, I am amphibian. Like I didn't know that. Okay, so just disclaimer. Let the people know what you identify as. I am identifying as a billionaire from this point on. So you will announce and identify me as Mr. Peace, the billionaire. Okay.
And that's just the thing too. If you're going to add stuff to your person, like I identify as trans wolf, male, etc., etc., etc. You say, well, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you need to go to jail for 10 years for misrepresenting me. I think that's a load of crap.
So are we talking about doing it by accident or like being
By
like doing it
accident.
on purpose? Oh,
Well, this is by accident because if
yes.
you correct someone, if I tell you guys right now I'm a billionaire, and a week from now you say no, you're poor, then I could say you are, you're not gendering me or calling me by what I want to be, what I identify as. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to say labels here. I ain't trying to get upset anybody because you ain't say my label. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say I'm a billionaire at this point. And if you guys don't respect my choices, then it's kind of like you're disrespecting me after I've already told you. Now you guys are unaware, then that's a different story. That's where we're at. Because it's kind of like people are getting in trouble, legally getting in trouble with fines and actually getting sent to jail for people saying that they were discriminated against because someone misgendered them or misidentified them. That's the issue.
Now this can go into race issues as well. Drell, I identify as transracial. I can use the N word because I identify as black. How stupid with that is
but
that?
that's opening a can of worms because it's kind of like now we're in a climate where people could say and do whatever they want and you can't really contest it.
Exactly.
Fear of being socially ostracized or even professionally at this point.
It's again, how many quote unquote pronouns can a person have before it just gets so absurd that what do they actually identify as? Because you look at their profile and all of a sudden, boom, all like, let's say 3 pages worth of all these pronouns. And you go, I'm never supposed to respect all of that or I get thrown in jail. But we can't ask you.
That's where it gets muddy because that's where it gets muddy and a little tricky because then someone can claim, discriminatory actions. They can claim sexual harassment with a lot of things. Sexual harassment doesn't necessarily mean you have to touch someone inappropriately. It could be a conversation between two complete strangers and a person overhear you. They could claim sexual harassment, whether you guys are in the workplace or not. So, like I said, it's just the climate of where we are moving now is very scary.
Touchy.
It's complicated. It is touchy, and it's convoluted with a whole bunch of things because you basically can't say something. You can't approach someone. You can't look at someone without fear of being discriminatory or sexual harassment lawsuits coming at you or anything like being labeled sexual predator. Like you can't do anything. If there's a video going around social media when these Marines are actually attacked by children because the adults was telling them, do not set off those fireworks in a public place. It's unsafe. And these kids are brutally beating up these adult men because they can't fight back because these are children. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we are in a dark place where it's hard to explain on the air, but it's just a fucked up situation.
Shit like this is why I don't watch a lot of news anymore.
And that's why I don't watch a lot of news, but at the same time, you got to watch at least some of it because we have friends in that quote unquote community.
That's the thing. We have friends everywhere, and you kind of want to be aware. So I say, try to keep up on current events, see what's going on, because you don't want to step outside your home one day and say hello to the postal person delivering mail, and then you slapped in jail for the rest of your life because you can't call them a postal person anymore. You got to call them something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's at that point. It's at that point where we are.
And especially people like me who work in retail or retail-ish place, we are trained to say X thing, and if they get offended, we get fired on the spot. There goes our livelihood.
Right.
And if we go to try to get a new job, that's on our records, and we can't get another job. So you're destroying people's livelihoods at the same time.
And some of these people here are identifying, or some things are literally just jumping on the bandwagon. I'm gonna call out Demi Lovato, because she went from I'm a female to I'm male to I'm non-binary to now I'm back female. You sound like you are jumping on the bandwagon, whether you are really having this lost identity crisis or you really do identify as these things, but you're flip-flopping to where now it's making it inconsistent and confusing to the general public to identify you as anything. And it's very dangerous for the people who are transitioning to non-binary or even transitioning sexes, where it becomes an issue.
I hate to bring up the Bud Light situation, but Dylan Mulvaney, he has recently put out a TikTok, and I'm calling him a he because at this point he has come full circle. The whole reason he transitioned into a woman is because he didn't like men. He didn't feel right in his body. Okay, I get that. He didn't want to date men. He wanted to date women still. Okay, fine. But now he claims to be trans, non-binary, attracted to both men and women, and wants to have children. And that's not what he did clear back when all the Bud Light thing was going on. He was all for the trans community. He was all for this, all for that. And anyone who told him otherwise is a bigot, transphobe, all the names. And I'm just like, you're going to come full circle and you're going to keep saying that stuff. Make up your mind. If you're having that much trouble trying to identify yourself, please seek help. And I say that in the most utmost respectful way. Please get some help by a professional who knows what he's doing, who has done this for, I'm going to say, 10 to 15 years plus, who has good people under his belt, or she, one of the two, and who can identify with you, who can help you get the care you need. Because, and this is why I don't like it when people go after the children, is because the children don't know what they want half the time. Don't let this stuff become a fad. They can go from age 5 to 10, say, oh yeah, I'm trans, but what about age 11 up to 21 to high school? High school is the most important, junior high school, is the most important time of a child's life where they are finding themselves. And if you're transitioning your kid at that age and then they go into high school, they are going to be screwed. They are going to be bullied. They are going to want suicidal thoughts and all this other stuff. I know. I was there. I'm sure we've all been there.
Just let them think for themselves.
Let them think for themselves. Let them make their own mistakes. Don't keep it from the parents. Because in order for a child to go to these things, the child ain't going to have the money to get the surgery or the help they need. They have to go to their parents. Yeah, we have counselors, but they're not going to know about this stuff. They're only going to know, oh, hey, this person is bullying you. Why are they bullying you?
Yeah. That's a whole nother,
But
part of growing up, part of development, part of social development, part of life skills that people are now, coddling children about, which is like back in the day. People say that saying, back in my day, we used to get whoopings. We used to it used to say, it takes a village to raise a child, which is true. But now people are so sensitive where my child, is not going to be exposed to some of these harsh things. Well, then that's hindering their developmental development. Okay, it's stunting their growth mentally and physically and emotionally, because they're not going to, if they come into their adult life and they have certain things go on, they're not going to be prepared on how to handle certain situations. But like, again, that's a whole nother topic. We're already almost at the 2-hour mark. We could literally have a 2-hour mark about, that itself.
And I'm just going to say this for my final thought. Let the diversity flow into your kid. Expose your kid to the diversity in the correct ways. It's hard, but take them to places like, say, Atlanta, where there's a lot of black people in the South. I, growing up, was in a very whitish area in Wyoming. I will admit that. And being down here in the South and having friends like Darrell, Shy, JP, and all these other black creators, and all these other trans community and LGBTQ creators in my life as an adult, it is a culture shock, and it's helping me to be a better person and see the diversity for what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. In order to really make yourself comfortable in different spaces, because again, racism is one thing, but it's personally just stemmed from being not aware of these certain things, or people are being, afraid of what you don't know or what you're used to. So if you just get out of your comfort zone, if your friend circle looks like you, there's a problem. Your friend circle should be as completely open and different from yourself, so you can understand there's their walks of lives out there. That's why I just love my family, basically, because my family is blended. And when I say blended, we have every walk of life, and that is part of my family. So there was no way where I grew up and I didn't know of a white person, of an Asian person, of a gay person, of a trans person. I didn't know that that wasn't the norm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, it was like, I don't see anything wrong with anyone. If a person has a problem with me for my skin, I know how to deal with that, because I was introduced to it as a younger person. I was prepared. I was told, like, this is going to happen in your life, whatever. So moral of the story is, don't get out into the world. I guess I'm just saying, get out your house, touch some grass, look at the sky, go someplace.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to remember that most people are decent. Most people are sensible, So long as a person's not being a dick, just keep digging styles. That's how we find beauty in the world.
Facts.
And find the right people to guide you.
Yeah.
Don't let the dumbasses of any community, that's why I put community in quotes. Don't let the dumbasses, the people who are like creating riots and stuff, don't listen to them. Yeah. Find the right people to guide you.
And if you feel like you're being manipulated, you probably are. Your senses are usually correct in that.
Correct. Listen to your gut. And if your family, even if your parents or someone close to you and you trust them, if they're telling you don't like someone or don't trust someone just because they don't like them and you don't have a reason, and this person never done anything to you, get to know that person, because it may just be something that your family is prejudiced of. Because for one, being racist and prejudiced isn't something that you just pick up on. It's something taught. It's tradition. It's passed down from fear. So just step out of that. Well, I guess it's the end of this episode. It's called Growth, huh? Grow, man.
It's growth.
There's our title, man.
Growth.
Yeah. Well, feel free to tell us what you thought of today's episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one. We'll catch you nerds.
Suggestions in the comments.
We'll catch you nerds later around the globe. We're also taking topics and questions, so feel free to send them if you'd like.
That part.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye,
guys.